Pitfalls to avoid in DIY estate planning. Now, as an estate planning and probate attorney, I have a unique perspective on this because in addition to doing comprehensive, bespoke, attorney-drafted plans, our firm has also put together what we call ready-made plans, which are automated, sort of off-the-shelf solutions for simple wishes. So it's not fully DIY because we provided a lot of guidance in how we structured that plan, but it is self-guided, so it's close to it. So I'm not your typical estate planning attorney that's going to tell you in no case can you ever do a DIY plan, because that's simply not true. But there are some pitfalls you have to avoid. In general, I think there's two big pitfalls to avoid. The first is trying to do too much with a software-based or DIY plan. And the second is not following instructions or not following through on the plan and funding a trust-based plan. That's what seems to get most people in trouble with these types of plans. Now, on the first point, if you have complex wishes or complex assets, you have no business doing a DIY or software-based plan. Some softwares that are out there will allow you to do entirely too complex things in your estate plan that will end up as a nightmare in the administrative phase. Why? Because if this, then that type of scenarios or conditions on an inheritance is what causes problems in the administration of a trust if it's not properly done by an attorney that knows what they're doing based on your goals. So if you just start writing in contingencies and writing in conditions on inheritance into a software-based plan that really isn't structured to take those contingencies, you're leaving a nightmare for your family. Don't do it, okay? If you have simple wishes, like you're a young family that has, a few minor children, you just bought your first house, and you want to make sure that if something happens to you, everything stays out of probate court, goes to the kids at a certain age, and you know who's going to take care of the kids via guardianship and finances until the age you specify, you can do a software-based plan. That's fine. Those wishes are not overly complex. Our ready-made plans will take care of that for you, no problem. But when you start to get into conditional logic around, if my estate is this value, then I want it to go this way. And if it's this value, then I want it to go this way. Or if this person passes, I want their share to break out according to XYZ terms. Or I want them to inherit according to this list of, demands and things that they have to do in order to inherit. All of that is too complex for any software-based plan. No business for you to be doing it, okay? Similarly, if you have complex family dynamics, so we're in a blended family scenario where we have children from previous relationships, or the beneficiaries, assuming that's children or just whoever you have named as your beneficiaries, if their personalities or their own situation is not conducive to just an outright inheritance, meaning we need to safeguard things for them, either from themselves or from something else they have going on. They have special needs and they're on government assistance. They have an addiction problem. They have a spouse who we don't agree with and we want to make sure it never ends up in that spouse's hands. If we have any of those kind of scenarios, stay away from software-based plans, ours included, even though we have one. Stay away from software-based plans. It's not a good fit for your family. The other part, let's assume we have simple wishes and we're going to go use a software-based plan. Or that young family with a couple kids and we just bought a house and we said, hey, cool, just want to put together that probate avoidance plan at this stage in my life. I don't want to do anything too complex. Great, let's go use the software-based plan, but you have to follow through with it. And that's the second thing we see people make a mistake on DIY plans. They go through the software, they get the documents, maybe they sign them, and then they don't do anything else. So they never actually send in the deed to transfer property to the trust. And that should be part of any software-based plan. It's part of our ready-made plans. You just have to send it back. We'll record it for you, okay? But you've got to send a deed back. You've got to make sure that your house gets into the name of the trust. And then you've got to follow the funding guideline that ought to come with the software-based program you're using. Our ready-made plans are going to walk you through it in a number of different ways. It's going to walk you through it in text, it's going to walk you through it in video, and it's going to walk you through step by step based on what type of assets you have, how to get it into the name of the trust, and what your different options are, okay? But that's the second thing we see people kind of make a mistake on is they purchase the plan, it's shipped to them, maybe they sign it, and they don't actually follow through on funding the trust. They leave property outside of the trust. And now we've got to go to probate court, albeit through a more streamlined approach in a best case scenario to get things into the trust, but we still have to end up in probate court to actually carry out your wishes. So in my view, those are the big two things to avoid. Don't try to make a more complicated plan than software can handle, and actually follow through with the guidance that's given. And any quality software-based plan, like our ready-made plans, is going to walk you through step by step how to get property into your trust, how to execute your plan so that it actually works as intended when the time comes. And if you want to check out the options that you have available and what type of estate plan you could put together, ranging from no plan to advanced estate planning and everything in between, and what goals can be accomplished in each type of plan, what the expected costs would be, check out the seminar that we have linked in the description of this video. It'll walk you through all of the different options so that hopefully you can better understand what makes sense for your family.